So, hello everyone. Today we are discussing a very specific topic. One of the participant is looking for some ideas where how to sell agile or how to sell an idea of agile to the management. And the participant has some ideas, and we will discuss and find out that okay, if you have been given a job to convince the senior management on agile way of working, how one should go about it. Again, I do believe there is no right and wrong way, but yeah, we explore what possibly can work. So maybe you want to share what approach you want to take if you want to make a presentation to convince some senior management on going for agile.
Yes. So the in new people are moving from the traditional approach to a more methodological approach. The reason being that people are looking forward to look at the signs and look at the small progress rather than waiting and getting the whole thing completed. Very famous saying is that we all know that the baby will be born after 9 months,
Hmm.
but the 9 month wait sometimes get very intense and very anxious that what will happen. But during this process, if we get to know that how is the progress, how are the things moving, so we can tackle all the issues and all the bottleneck the way it appears rather than waiting till the end and all things getting piled up, and then we have to take certain action where it might happen that some of the important thing which we could have done we cannot done, and just to wrap up or rush up the thing, we might lose some values which could have been added if we have looked at those particular thing at that particular point.
Perfect, perfect. So what I'm sensing is that you want to sell the idea or a benefits of agile way of working. And one of the crucial idea which you are coming up with is that it provides you a transparency, it provides you a opportunity to validate, opportunity to learn because you are working in a small feedback loop or a short feedback loops rather than taking the whole chunk and then later on realizing that this thing is not working out. You want to take a shorter feedback cycle, so you can say rather than doing a one big plan do check act cycle, if we do a smaller plan do check act cycle, then we can adjust as per what we are learning, and the agile way of working is helping us to do that. So you want to make that kind of a case. Am
Yes,
I
so
correct?
absolutely. So we want to. So the whole idea is to show the shift that when it was before, how it was, and when we are shifting, what are the reasons, what are the benefit, and what can be the steps.
Perfect, perfect. So if I just map your thought process in a and you may want to even put into the presentation as well the Simon Sinek's the golden circle. So the way Simon Sinek explains those golden circle is that you start with a why and then you get into what and then ultimately you tell how are you going to do it. So if we just take these three steps and say okay, I want to present my case by way of starting with why, why one should look into agile, then what is agile or what is agile way of working and how do we do it, then we get into the actionable thing. So this is how possibly can be done. Now in your case maybe your presentation may limit to why and what, maybe you don't go to how space, I'm not sure, but I think the why part needs to be explored in detail so people are clear, why should we go for a different way of working than we were doing before. Yeah, am I
Right.
giving the
Absolutely.
structure here?
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's zoom into a why and how do we explore the why part of it. So if you pick up like I understand you are talking about iterative feedback cycles, you are talking about transparency, you are talking about ability to change the path based on what we are learning. What else could be the reason for going for agile?
See, one of the other reason is to go for agile is also, which is very important in terms of any product or services, is like your go-to market.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the another important aspect is how it is aligned with your whether the department or the product or the organizational roadmap, right?
Mm-hmm.
How your
Mm-hmm.
organization is thinking that how which way they are going to move, and also how it is going to improve your proactiveness than a reactiveness, because many a
Mm-hmm.
times what happens is most of this approaches is basically reactive, that
Mm-hmm.
okay, If something happens, then we did this and then it
Mm-hmm.
has happened.
Mm-hmm.
But if we are agile, not in terms of software, generally in this whole world, if you are agile, that means you are taking some proactive steps,
Perfect. Perfect. So this is what you
right?
do. And if
Yeah.
what happens if you don't take the proactive steps?
So if we don't take the proactive steps, what happens is that uh, you will keep following the traditional thing, and you will wait for a longer time duration. And with the longer time duration, what happens is, like in finance, they say time value of money. You can make gains, right? Definitely, you can make gains in 1 year, but you are expecting to make a gain within 6 months. And for the same thing, if you have to wait 1 year, you will make a gain, but it is time which is important to realize those gains.
Okay.
So in the
Okay.
meantime, it might happen that someone else does something, and your time value of money is not that equivalent to that particular thing.
Perfect. So what I'm sensing here is, and you can compile these ideas that why one should go for agile. Again, as you might be aware, there are surveys like State of Agile report. There are other surveys also where they talk about, why the world is going towards agile. You can say these are the primary reasons people are going for agile. It's a industry data, but your reasons might be different because each organization might be going through a different challenges. So what I'm sensing here is that you learn about your customer by doing agile. So if you don't learn about your customer, you may end up building something wrong, or you may end up building for very long and then you realized, oh, this all was not needed. Only smart part of it could have made money. So that's the one of the reason that validating your assumption early, so that you don't end up doing something wrong and invest money there. You don't end up over engineering something which was not needed, because once you launch a product you realize that part of the product was more useful over other. And you also prioritize continuously what is really needed, and that helps you to deliver something which is essential early, so that increases your time to market. So this is like three four reasons you can say that, I am validating my assumption, I am prioritizing features regularly so that I don't delay my delivery, and I don't over engineering or over invest something which was not needed by the market, because I am taking the feedback loop. So this is a set of reasons. The another set of reasons could be the word is very dynamic nowadays. So if we are working on very predictable requirement space, the customer is expected to get this process automated, then it doesn't matter you do it sequentially or do you do it iteratively. Ultimately the same process will get automated. But when the requirements are emerging, the client themselves are not clear what they really need, and their needs will keep changing over a period of time. So rather than taking all their need and then coming back after 1 year, and by that time the need might have changed, we try to find out, okay, you have 100 needs, but which are the 10 needs probably we can take care in the next 1 month. Let's do that, and then probably we'll see what do we do next. So again, since the word is becoming dynamic, and this is something you will see in most of the surveys, the number one reason for going for agile is that handling the changing priority, handling the changes as they are occurring, and that is the major thing people start focusing on. Some quick way of delivering the most essential part of it, and later on figure out what is needed based on what we delivered and what we learned. So dealing with the changing priorities and managing those changes on early and often. Yeah. So I
Yeah,
think, yeah, you
that,
can put that. Yeah.
yeah, that sounds very good. So basically, we can, I mean, that it helps to in a very dynamic way, rather than being in a very subtle way. It helps to do things in a dynamic way, uh, which can help you deliver a minimum value product in every cycle. It can have your go-to market, which is also flexible. You can have the go-to-market date. Small progress you can see that when is your go-to-market. The second thing is that if you are consistently in touch with your customer, you get the feedback and you give the recommendation which is required or which can be incorporated. That is when needed, rather than doing something and getting back from that steps.
Yeah. So the thing is, yes, it increases the collaboration, it increases the validation, and that helps you, your customers, to get to the right solution. Because in a changing world, nobody knows what is the right solution. Yeah. if you
Right.
if you clearly know this is the right solution for all my problem, then you just apply that solution. You don't say that I need to take a feedback. But when you realize that my knowledge of my solution is limited, and now in today's world that is becoming more and more often, because even the problem gets changed by the time you solve it. So if I say that even if I pick up a problem 1 year ago, and even if I perfectly solve that problem after 1 year, it may still not add value, because over 1 year the problem got changed. So in
Yes.
order to chase something which is very changing, I also validate quite often. And that can also put a disclaimer or a thing, that if you're working in a very stable set of environment, you may require less frequent adaptation technique, where you may not require that kind of quick changes or agile way of working, in case your word is pretty stable and problems are pretty well defined. Yeah, then you may say, my problem is well defined, my solution is well defined, my approach is well defined, and I have been doing it for last 10 years and I need to do it another 1 year. Why should I validate it? Because I have been doing from 10 years and this is the same thing, I keep doing the same thing. So on those kind of places, we may not require frequent validation, frequent learning, because we have a historical data which gives us confidence that we can solve it. But in other places, and in today, especially in software development world, those opportunities are becoming less and less, because there are hardly anything which we have been doing historically and we can keep doing in the similar way in the future, because the market is changing at a faster pace.
Got it. So this sounds good. So I can rephrase this, and I can put this across.
Yeah. So I think you focus on the why part, and then maybe you can,
Yes.
if you feel that it is needed, then you may touch upon the what and how part as well. That what is agile.
Okay.
So, for example,
Okay.
if you are really going to the management, it says, okay, I got it. How are you going to do it? What it is? I understand this is a common sense. We should be keep learning, but how it happens? Yeah, and what are the challenges while doing it? So you may want to go that, okay, you understood this is what we have to do. Now you talk about how, and you also talk about challenges, how to do it. Now, what possible challenges could be? Your old management style may not work here. That could be a challenge. So you need to learn new way of working. Now, what was the old management style? Manager is the super intelligent guy, and the manager can
Yes.
tell what should be done and how it is done, and he should provide all the answers so the team members can just do what the manager is saying. That's the old management style, that's the old belief, which was good till the time requirement was predictable, till the time manager was really a super intelligent guy. But in a new world where the things are changing, manager might not be able to keep up with the changing surroundings all the time. The people who are doing the work, they are the one who are learning what is working and what is not working at a continuous basis. So you need to come up the management style which let people explore, and which management style empower individuals so that they are free to experiment, rather than they are always focusing on, oh, I have committed this requirement, I just need to finish this requirement, else my manager will ask where is that requirement. So if we create that, even by following so-called agile approach, the still the result will not come. So maybe if you want to convince a stakeholder, you may talk about why agile, what is agile, and when you talk about how, you may also talk about what used to work before, which needs to done differently now, because we are dealing in a new space. So how is not necessarily to talk about there is a sprint planning, there is a scrum meeting, there is a scrum master role, there is a product owner, that becomes too mechanics. But it talks about more like how a leadership behavior, the management behavior is expected to adapt in order to enable something which we want to achieve by way of doing agile. So I think if you put that, that can put a little more leadership oriented presentation rather than execution oriented presentation.
Okay. So what I'm saying is my first thing will be why, like what we have discussed. The second one will be how, that how we can achieve it, and we can conclude this that what is this all about, where we talk about the manifesto, the artifacts, and all those things, and we can have one slider based on that.
Yes, yes, yes. So, and
And
you can explicitly say that I am following the Simon Sinek's Golden Circle. You can watch the video YouTube Simon Sinek Golden Circle. You can say Golden Circle, why, what, how. YouTube will tell you what
yes,
it is. So I recommend you watch that. So it also brings some
okay.
kind of authenticity to your approach. That I am
Hmm.
taking something which is a known approach to convince
Yeah,
something, and now I am talking about why. Now I'm talking about what, and then I'm also talking about how. And in the how also, I'm not going into mechanics, but I am keeping it to a leadership level. So leadership level what, leadership level how, and leadership level whys. I think that should be good enough. If you
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think we are good with it.
Okay, so I think this is, let's see, and let's see how it works. And in case you have a follow up query, we can have a conversation later. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
Okay.